Hello. The Flash bomb exploded. I've seen the Flash movie now twice, and I have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I've been watching all the different reviews, mostly negative, and I can understand where people are coming from with the reviews, but I have to say I still thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. Um, I understand the negative the criticisms, yes, but it was well paced, and I thought the acting was really good. Ezra Miller was really good. There's been some criticism of DC about hiring Ezra Miller because of his legal problems. Well, I say he's been judged in a court of law. We're not ones to judge. We shouldn't judge him. He'll be punished for what he did, and he should still be able to work with the skills he has, and he's a very good actor. Now, the film is based on the popular Flashpoint story from the comic books, and it's not over like the original story from the comic books. It's a nice, rich film full of action and concepts. It's very good on story. But I noticed, of course, that there were only around 6 people in the theatre both times, including myself. And I thought, every time I go to see a Marvel movie, there are hundreds there cheering. And I thought this movie was better than quite a few of the Marvel ones. I mean, okay, Shazam Fury of the Gods was shit. It was garbage. The only good thing about it was the CGI monsters. But this movie, for me, it was the opposite. Perhaps it's my sense of nostalgia seeing the various so-called cameo roles, but they were important parts of the story, I thought. I liked the scenes with the Justice League. I liked seeing Michael Keaton's Batman, and he had an important role in the drama. The action sequences were very good. So why is the Flash bombing? Well, some opinions, as I just said, to do with Ezra Miller's inclusion in the film, and some criticisms are stating. Some critics are stating that Henry Cavill isn't in it enough. He was written out because of the reboot that James Gunn is working on, and which everyone is looking forward to next year. Henry Cavill fans didn't like that, and possibly won't even go and see the film. There are too many people being very critical and picky, I think, and won't even go and see the film. Well, I wonder if they don't go and see the film for themselves, can they really be movie lovers or even lovers of the superhero genre? I suspect that some of them are secret Marvel fans who like to criticize DC. Some of them are unconscious Marvel fans who feel the need to criticize DC. And the film is sharing a similar fate to Black Adam, which is another film that I enjoyed and I thought was very good. And apparently it's making even less money. Perhaps things will pick up over the next week or two at the box office. I don't know. Um, anyway, I thought the CGI was spectacular. It was very provocative. It was difficult to understand, but it was very colourful and sufficiently otherworldly. The multiverse was well explained by Batman as being like a bowl of spaghetti, um, intersecting strands of spaghetti, alternate timelines, which how can I put this? I don't know how else I can put it, but I thought there was a good explanation of the alternate timelines type of multiverse. And one thing I have to say is I think that there is a problem with DC with focusing on certain storylines. For example, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I've read the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic books, and I think it was the theme or the concept was very well handled on the TV series crossovers, the Arrowverse crossovers. I don't want to see a movie based on the same storyline, especially when there's so many great storylines in the DC comics that they could use or excavate from the past. The Flashpoint Paradox had already been a really good animated adventure based on the Flashpoint Paradox storyline, in which, of course, Barry Allen travels back in time, tries to save his mother's life, and ends up altering history. And in this film, an interesting science fiction element emerges in which not only these flashpoint intersections, not only the future is changed, but also the past from that time is also changed. It's a concept I've not really come across before in other idioms or other science fiction shows or stories. And the bowl of spaghetti and the intersections is caused by multiple flashpoint. Well, it's known as flashpoint because of the flash, but multiple fixed points in time in the universe, if you like, or the multiverse, which is a very interesting concept. It occurred also in the last season of DC Legends of Tomorrow. There are certain fixed points which have to happen in history, and at other times, time is more fluid or flexible. Now, what I would like to say, perhaps to James Gunn, is perhaps entertain the idea of coming up with new stories and new concepts, not necessarily milking the history, the comic book and other idiomatic histories of the superhero stories, or use story from the past stories, other past stories that haven't been adapted before or expanded before. Marvel have had some success with expanding the universe. They haven't necessarily stuck to the stories, and they haven't just altered them. the story from the comic book. They've even added other elements, another story. And we know how successful Marvel has been. But I can't help thinking that people flock to the cinema because it's Marvel. And DC are having the opposite effect at the moment. Perhaps it's the unpopularity of the Snyderverse, which I did find rather dark and a bit harsh. But I think it probably a mistake to dismiss the Snyderverse altogether, which seems to be happening at the moment. Improvement should be the watchword rather than scrapping and replacing. DC could still come up with new situations and new style and retain the Snyderverse, so-called Snyderverse, because out of the Snyderverse there came great movies that were all successful, like Wonder Woman, for example. I think Man of Steel was fairly successful too. Batman v Superman was garbage, apart from parts of it, because of the derogation of the characters, of the main two characters. Their personalities were somewhat not really represented faithfully or with a sense of integrity or intelligence, at least. I did like the Aquaman film. I don't think that did as well. And I like the Suicide films, or Suicide Squad films rather. I think they did well at the box office. But anyway, I don't have much information, or can't bring to mind much information. But I would urge people to go and see the Flash movie and maybe pleasantly surprised. Or as many, they may be full of criticisms, but I think it's worth going to see them. I mean, I went to see Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and I was totally bored until the CGI monsters turned up towards the end, and I thought the acting was inconsistent. But I did go to see it. I enjoyed the first Shazam movie. I thought that was a lot better. Right, so I thought that the Flash movie was better than the first two Ant-Man movies, certainly, and also Captain Marvel, which I thought was a bit piecemeal, and there was a pointless element to the story. But I won't go any further before people start throwing things at the screen who disagree with me. And this is Sherwin Green saying good night and thank you for watching this video.